Since 2008 financial crisis, we have seen several attempts to dethrone US dollar as a global reserve currency. Bitcoin was formed after the global financial crisis as an alternate system for people to transact and move away from US dollar like a fiat currency system. But recently we have seen an attempt from BRICS nation to create a gold-backed currency which will potentially replace US dollar, or at least reduce their liabilities from US dollar onto something else. Is this going to happen, or is it going to be another currency which will collapse just like the previous currency attempts we have seen in the history? For us to understand this, we have to go back into the history to understand how the global monetary system actually works. What is the bare foundation of that system that has been actually providing services and support across the global financial system? Mind you that even when we had the commodity monetary system, when people used to trade gold and silver coins to purchase goods and services, that was highly inefficient process. So there was a reason why we moved away from that system onto a fiat currency system, because it was so difficult to transport the physical commodity money like gold or silver from one place to the another, especially if you're making trade across multiple countries in order to purchase goods and services. So in order to make it efficient and make it more cost effective, this paper claim based monetary system replaced the actual commodity monetary system, which means you don't have to move gold or silver in order to purchase any goods and services. You actually keep it somewhere in the storage at a vault managed and audited by a third party, and then you use paper claims to actually transfer the ownership from one party to the another, and that party will actually use that paper claim to purchase goods and services. The issue with that system was the trust. Who is going to trust that third party who is going to manage your gold and silver assets, that this is being held accurately and not being misused in a way that there have been so many paper claims being printed versus not enough gold and silver to back them up, which is exactly what happened in 1971 when the rest of the world realized that the US is actually printing so many paper claims compared to the amount of gold reserves they had. And when US realized that people are waking up, then Nixon actually closed that gold window and actually default on their debt obligations. And since then, we have been living in a fiat monetary system where actually the currency itself is not backed by anything but a trust. So the only thing that is keeping these currencies alive is just the trust on the counterparty, whether the issuer or the bank who is providing these credits is going to fulfill their obligations or not. That's the only thing that is keeping this system alive. And even if the new currency comes up as an alternative option to potentially replace US dollar, that currency system has to provide enough or more trust than the people have on the US dollar for rest of the world to actually adopt as a currency alternative. So when we see that these BRIC nations are trying to create a new currency system, which is going to be backed by gold, the number one thing that comes into my mind that who is going to trust that system, number one, and who is going to trust the party who is going to manage the gold reserves. So somebody needs to manage and audit the gold reserves compared to how many currency claims are going to be circulating in the economy. So if you look at these countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, these are the countries making this BRICS alliance. Are these countries even trusting each other? Let alone trusting the overall currency system. So that is the fundamental flaw in this approach, where these countries are even not trusting each other, let alone if they create a new currency and everybody will start trusting it. Somebody needs to centrally manage this. And imagine if you have gold reserves to back it up, who's going to audit that gold, whether they have enough gold to back up the currency claims circulating in the economy. So that's one big question to answer. Number two is people don't realize that there is a system called Euro dollar system, which is outside of the US, it is actually spread across majority of the global financial system, where the banks, the financial systems, the corporations, the individual actors all use that euro dollar system, and that is the foundation of the US dollar as a global reserve currency. It has nothing to do with the US dollar being circulated in the US economy. It is outside of that. So the use of US dollar outside of US is much higher than its domestic economy in the US. So in order to replace US dollar as a global reserve currency, you have to change the entire global monetary system, which we call the euro dollar system, where every single corporation, country, businesses, individual actors are trading each other in a currency where they all trust upon more than their own local currency, that this currency will actually contain its purchasing power, at least until they settle the payment. So if you bring up another currency system, how many people will trust on that compared to what they have trusted US dollar when it comes to making global transactions, global trades? So imagine, replacing everything that has been evolved over century by just creating another currency. That is going to be a non-starter in my opinion. Maybe 50 years down the road, but at least in the next horizon, in the near-term horizon, in the foreseeable future, I don't see any currency is going to change or replace US dollar. It may a little bit reduce the usage across multiple parties outside of the euro dollar system, but the benefits, the efficiencies, the ease of use US dollar has provided as part of the euro dollar system is very difficult to replace at this time, especially the level of commerce and trade that we do today with the lightning speed. It requires a very solid, established system where people trust on the network as well as the overall ecosystem that has built around. So it's hilarious to say that this BRICS currency used by these countries backed by the gold will actually replace US dollar in the next 5 to 10 years. I don't think so. Maybe you have different opinion. Put your comments down below. Let me know what you think. I'll be more than happy to be corrected myself, but I would like to listen to your opinions as well. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share this with your friends and family, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.